Yes, dear. As you see the generator in running condition, you see all the voltage, frequency, battery voltage, engine temperature, and engine oil pressure. Now I will tell you the same setting which I used for this controller. There are so many parameters, almost this 2000. So one by one I cannot explain, because if I explain in full the parameter, it will take too much time. And the PDF file I will attach in the video. When you will watch this video, downside the description, when you click on description, downside you will see the link. If you open that link, it will automatically show you the whole diagram. This whole diagram you will see. Now I will tell you how to go inside the parameter and what are the parameter which I use in my controller. You need to press this red button and auto button together. See, now this is the editor mode. In this editor mode you can change settings, change all the data, whatever you want to display here or whatever you want to remove from your display. Here this 101, this 101 is contrast, and the next one is fast loading enable, all warning latch, lamp test at the start, power save mode, event log, power to the mode. So this all one by one showing the parameters, and with the plus and minus you will see one by one. For example, now 116, now coming 117. With the arrow up and down you can skip 100 parameter in one key. See, 300, 400, 500, 600. So what are the most requirement I will show you here. Rest of I will not explain. This 602 is alternator pole. My generator is two pole generator. If you have two pole generator, their RPM should be around 3600. As you see, when I run the generator, there was RPM 3600. So that's why this two pole. If four pole, the RPM should be half, 1700 something. And the next one is under voltage 603, under voltage shutdown enable. If you make it 0, example like this, if you save, now if there is any under voltage, generator will not trip. So you must need to enable this feature. And 604, under voltage shutdown. If generator coming on 100, again I will tell you the line to neutral voltage, this one, not line to line, line to neutral. Generator will be shut down. The next one 605, under voltage warning enable. 606, under voltage warning trip. 608, loading voltage, over voltage warning. 'Over voltage warning return', 'over voltage warning trip'. 613, under voltage shutdown enable. Same for voltage, if you disable this one, make it 0. Now if there is any frequency down, generator will not shut down. Generator will not shut down if you disable this one. So you must enable. The next 614, under voltage, under frequency shutdown trip. 615, under frequency warning enable. 616, under frequency warning trip, loading frequency 618, nominal frequency 60. This is the actual frequency of the generator, 60 Hertz. And this is the high frequency. Over frequency warning, enable or disable. I enable. Over frequency warning return. Over frequency warning trip. Over frequency shutdown enable. Over frequency shutdown trip. Now this is the AC system, 6 to 5, 3 phase. This city current, 6 to 5, 6 to 6. City primary, full load rating, immediate overcurrent enable, delay overcurrent alarm, delay overcurrent alarm action. 631 overcurrent delay time, overcurrent trip, and 633 kilowatt rating. Kilowatt protection enable, over kilowatt protection action. And this 700 related to the main. As I told you, we are not make setting for the main because we have only one generator, so I didn't make any setting for the main. Now what is 800 configuration parameter engine? This about engine. 801 start attempt, overspeed overshoot, overspeed delay, gas choke timer. This is about the batteries. I will repeat again this all setting which I make for my generator. Maybe in your generator it is different, but as per my generator it's working good. Now the most important is the 900 series. This 900 parameter, engine oil pressure and temperature. This all I will show you. See this 601 901 low oil pressure enable, 6902 low oil pressure trip, 903 oil pressure sensor open circuit, analog input A sensor use. This analog input A sensor, what is this one? This one is engine oil pressure, input A, and input B. Downside you will see here. This B is about the temperature sensor. This diagram I will upload and you can download from the description. Now see my setting. 903, the same for the over frequency and voltage. If you disable this oil pressure, make 0. If any wire is broken, parameter will not come and generator will not shut down. You have to enable this one. This is most important. Don't make it 0. Later on I will show you. I will remove the wire. In running condition, here it will come the fault and generator will shut down immediately. This input B, as I told you, 923. Here is 923. This 923. See this 923 analog input B, sensor usage, digital input 0, temperature, sensor. Input 0, temperature and sensor. Here is also having one chart. See this temperature sensor list. In my case, I have so many sensor lists, but what I am using I will show you here. See here 923, here 923. Where is the table? Table is here. Sensor type number 2, temperature sensor. So I select here number 2. 94 number 3 I selected. Here 924 temperature. We have to see the table. This temperature sensor number 3, video 120 centigrade. I think it's clear for you. This 925 is high engine temperature trip. Again, this very important 926. 926, if you disconnect the temperature sensor, it will show the alarm and generator will shut down. Should be enabled. This C we didn't use. C, D, whatever. We are using only two input, analog input A and B. And we don't have the fuel tank level sensor and pressure, fuel pressure sender. So that's why we didn't use. This no need. This all useless. Only main item I show you before. I will show you my temperature sensor. See, here is my temperature sensor. This is very old engine, and temperature sensor should be the near the coolant line. And here is the pressure switch, single wire, because other wire is body ground. And this one is the fuel rack, fuel pump. If there is low frequency, you can increase by screw tight this one. Number 10 spanner. If you tight this throttle, it will come like this and speed will be increased. If you lose, it will go back, and here you have to tight this one. If you tight, it will not come up and down. And here is the fuel cutoff. Easily you can download from the internet this diagram. If you are unable to find out from my video description, you can download from the internet. You just write DSE MKII 6020 and you can download this PDF. These two PDF files, one for connection, other one having all the parameters. Here I will give you a short look. See, this number one and number 2, its power input. Number 1 is the negative, number 2 positive. And this positive, I also show you the connection of my controller. from fuse going to the emergency stop. Emergency stop is normally closed switch. This power going inside the controller, and then pin number 4 having output A, speed. Yeah, now you can read this number 4. Number 4 is going for the fuel pump, not fuel pump, this fuel solenoid. Number 4. Problem, sorry, my camera I cannot focus. And number 5 for starter. See, this number 3 going for the fuel solenoid, and number 5 going to the starter motor. Now here is number 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We are using number 11 body ground negative, and number 12 the analog input A. What is analog input A? You read here. Oil pressure sensor. Oil pressure sensor on number 12, and number 13 coolant temperature sensor, which I told you before. Here is all other configuration, and this other configuration, for example, you don't have this automatic fuel cutoff valve, you need to add another option, another separate fuel cutoff solenoid. You can energize and you can enable these inputs through the laptop, but we are talking about only manual setting. Say user configurable output C. See here, save this module I am talking, 6020. Number 1 negative, number 2 battery positive, and number 3 emergency stop. Number 4 and 5 I explained you already. One for the fuel cutoff, number 4, number 5 for starter motor. And here is the next, number 11 ground, number 12 oil pressure, number 13 engine temperature, and number 25, 26, 27 connection coming from the breaker, neutral, line 1, line 2, line 3. Here is the neutral common, and line 1, line 2 we take from the breaker. And number 13, 14, 33, 34, 35 for the load coming from the CT coils. As I told you before, my generator very old, and here is the CT coil. See, this coming from the CT. Now I will try to run and I create the fault just to show you. See, it's in on condition. I will disconnect coolant. See, I disconnect the coolant, and here you see fault for the coolant. If you remove from the while generator is running, it will suddenly shut down. Let me fix back. I fixed back already, and here is the how you will reset this fault. You simply press red button. If this disappear, it's mean our problem is solved. Now I will remove the pressure, engine oil pressure. Engine oil pressure, it's very tight from here. I can remove from my hand. I will remove from the container backside. Or simply we will remove this grip. Now both fault will come. See, temperature and oil pressure. If you reset, it will not reset because cables were removed. See. Thanks guys watching this video. If you feel you get some knowledge from this video, you should like the video and subscribe the channel for more. We'll see you inshallah in next video. When I press emergency switch button, the main low frequency and emergency, because when generator stop, RPM down, frequency down, and that's why this fault was coming. Reset and reset. Thanks a lot for watching video. See you in next.